My girlfriend's father refused to give me his blessing to marry her, even though we've been together for 5 years.
Why you gotta be so...
That's literally the plot of this song. February 11th, 2016. Carl, girlfriend's father, because Carl the llama.
Yes! Carl the llama.
Some background, we have been in a relationship for 5 years and living together for 4, and this is the best, most satisfying relationship I have had in all my life. She works in the healthcare industry, and her kindness towards those in need and less privileged than her is what drew me to ask her out in the first place. Aw, that's beautiful. In the last 4 years between us, there have been some little fights and only one big fight. By the way, this comes from Phil said no, or father-in-law said no. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the fight happened in October 2014, 2 years before the start of this story. She planned for lunch with Carl, which I had to miss because of work-related emergency. He called me later that night saying that I don't show him the respect he deserves, and I'm always trying to get out of family events because I don't want to be around him. Which is not true, because half the planning and organizing on his birthday was on me, and it was a big event. In the morning, I told girlfriend about his call, and she brushed it off as him being intoxicated. The next weekend, when we went to her parents' place for family dinner, Carl was extremely hostile towards me, but I kept silent about it, until he said that I should not have missed the lunch. Every other Sunday is family dinner at her folks' place, and I rarely miss it. So I didn't think it was a big deal.
Plus it happens every other Sunday.
Happens every other Sunday. I apologized to him and said that I would make up for it in some way. At the next dinner, I bought a bunch of smart wearable accessories for him because girlfriend suggested he was interested in them. He refused to accept the gift. And when I insisted, he walked out saying he needs some air.
When it comes to men and electronics, they need to come to their own conclusion about what electronics they need. Thus, they will buy it. My grandfather, that does not have a cell phone, found the tablet that he wanted, and he bought it because he was like, this is the right choice for me. He didn't want anyone else to get it for him because he was like, I need to make this decision.
I need to do this. There comes a time in a man's life where he needs to buy his electronics.
Yep. His own tablet.
I had no idea what was going on, and girlfriend's mom was mortified, apologizing to me over and over again for Carl's behavior. When we got home, I asked girlfriend if there's something going on that she's not telling me. At first, she tried to brush it off, but then she said that it was my fault for not seeing that her father wasn't interested in being buddies and wanted my respect, not friendship. Gross.
Okay.
This was a complete surprise to me because I never really thought of him as anything more than her father. We would just watch the game together sometime and chat about it later, but that was the extent of our social interaction. Girlfriend said I needed to earn his respect, and I told her I had done nothing wrong. That's when the fight started. But a few days later, Carl called me and said he liked the watch and other accessories. That's his way of declaring truce, I guess. After that, I was always extra careful never to miss any event with him. Last June, girlfriend's mother passed away. And it was an incredibly difficult time for everyone. I tried to be as supportive towards the whole family as I could. I cut down my work hours to spend more time with them.
Yo, don't do that. Don't do that.
And now he's going to be like, you're lazy. You're not working.
Yeah.
Girlfriend and I started cooking the family dinner at his place because she thought it would be better for him to see the house alive with people again. And we made it an every week event for a while just to spend more time with him. Multiple times we made extra effort to host family events, and once we even flew his elder sister out over for his birthday. I had thought he would warm up to me a little, but I guess I was wrong. Which brings us to today. Girlfriend is away for the week on work-related stuff, so I planned the whole proposal. I was going to decorate our apartment like a planetarium with stars and planets and write, "Will you marry me?" in the stars. Oh!
That's so cute.
It's from Friends, which she is obsessed with. I wanted to start the preparations with his blessings because that way he would feel good about me asking him first and he'd feel included also. That is like so sweet.
Wow. Good luck with this giant man baby though.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna like it. I planned a lunch with him for today to ask for his blessing. I told him how much I respect him and that I wish one day I could be as good of a father as he was. Then when I asked for his blessing for the marriage, he blew up. He was absolutely livid, saying that her daughter deserves a better man and that he never really liked me much and had always hoped the relationship would end.
Dude, not gonna lie, this kind of happened to me.
That's so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, keep your mouth shut, man.
Like our parents did not like me at all. I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to marriage and stuff. And they sat us down and was like, are you really sure about that? You want to be a videographer and an editor? Like, do they even make much money? Yada, 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 yada. Dude, guess who she's engaged to now?
Someone poor.
Photographer / editor.
What?
Yep. That's who she's engaged to right now.
That's ridiculous.
What can I say?
He said all the butt kissing I was doing last year had shown that I just wanted to appear like a good man to girlfriend and didn't mean any of it. I was so shocked because this is not how I expected it to go at all. I left him still spewing hate and went to one of my friends' places. Told him and his wife everything, but they are just as shocked as I am. I spent the day at their place and got home about 2 hours ago. Not sure how to proceed now or even what to do. Should I tell my girlfriend that her father said no? Should I proceed as if nothing has happened? For now, I'm drinking and playing video games. What should I do, Reddit? Note, I have kept a lot of details intentionally vague because my girlfriend and her siblings are active on Reddit. And there is an update.
Ooh, wait, what year was this made?
2016.
This is 2019.
And now we're jumping to 2019. So they're either married or they're not.
I say...
I love time skips.
Yeah, they kind of...
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't like big time skips because I feel like you miss a lot of context.
Yeah, tell us what happened in between.
Oh, dude, when House of the Dragon did that, I was like, what?
Oh, you just mean in like shows?
But no, in life too.
Yeah. This is what happens. Bro breaks up with a girl.
Yeah.
And he moves to another city. He finds himself before he moves to another city and finds a flourishing job where he has great coworkers and a great life.
And there you go.
Boom. That's what happens.
Yeah. Honestly, the way that she reacted about the first time when she was like, why do you want to be buddies with my dad? I feel like...
No, it's just something to do.
I feel like she's gonna side with her dad, maybe.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because who's going to be saying... If you hear from your dad he's not a good enough person for you, you're going to believe it after a while. You're going to be like, yeah, that makes sense.
You're right, I guess.
That's what happened.
Update August 20th, 2019. I'm not sure what I will get out of this. I feel like writing it all down and having a stranger look it over might give some mental clarity. But I think at this point, there's no way to salvage our marriage.
They're married now.
I've been in a relationship with my wife for almost 9 years now, married for 2. Wow. Our relationship has been, for the most part, a fulfilling and satisfying one for the both of us. It seems like I'm making a self-congratulating post, but we've become better people by virtue of being together. I'm an old-fashioned person, so it was difficult to meet a woman who liked the things I liked and had the opinions I had. The only unsavory part of our relationship over the years had been my relationship with my father-in-law. My wife and I rarely have disagreements, so most of the major fights we've had were because of her father. I want to be clear here, I don't hate him. I respect the guy. He's sacrificed a lot in his personal life in order to provide for his family and to make sure my wife was raised with love and care. I used to look up to him in the earlier years of the relationship. He and my mother-in-law would host the family twice every week. And when I first started dating their daughter, it took me by surprise how close they were as a family. I really liked the family events with these picturesque dinners of mild conflicts and contentment, with how close my wife was with all of her siblings and her parents too. Early on in the relationship, I think I freaked out my wife by how much I enjoyed being at her parents' house. Her mother was a saint of a woman who gave me so much love from the get-go.
AKA food.
Aw, that's
dude, her
true.
baked goods, her lunches.
Amazing. She would always make sure I was included in family activities and often reserved a seat for me at the family dinner right next to her, talking to me like I was one of her own. I remember one time I was over at their place and had to get back to the city for work. It was getting pretty late when I got up to leave and it had been snowing. She came down from her room when I was leaving with an overcoat and her husband saying I should take the coat with me just in case. But I know it was because she knew my car got cold those days. It was a POS car getting to the end of its life. She didn't want me to feel like she thought less of me just because I made less money than my wife. These little mom things she would do made me love her so much, and she passed away. We learned earlier in the story. Anyway, the reason I bring up my mother-in-law is because I think she was the reason her husband was so accepting of me at the time. She passed away 4 years ago, and it somehow changed him. I think his love meter broke or something. He started acting like I'd somehow slighted him all the time. Like one time, wife and I were bringing over some groceries and restocking everything, and I thought it would be nice to stay for the dinner and cook for him. While he was out for his evening walk, wife and I prepared a nice dinner. At dinner, he thanked my wife for most of it. She mentioned that I did most of the work for it, and he kind of looked at me and just stopped talking.
What'd you do, man?
Oh, man.
What'd you do?
Oh, man.
Did you do something? Or does he just is jealous?
He's just jealous.
John, you've been dancing a lot.
I'm going to give you a live demonstration and you're going to see it too.
Show me those hips. Oh, damn. That is a good move. But you know what is also an amazing move?
What is that, Sam?
Becoming an OK Storytime member.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
And it's only $5 a month. So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Well, let's get back to the story.
Another time in September of 2016, we were staying at his place for the weekend because we were cooking the family dinner. Every morning, wife and I were sitting on the breakfast counter just starting our day, and we thought he was out because he was usually the first one up. I hit my wife on her leg over a stupid pun or something, and I guess he saw, because he came over and started yelling at me about not being raised right and being a woman beater. Whoa!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet he was just like,
Yeah, just like this.
yeah, stop kicking me. He keeps kicking me.
I'm just showing what he did.
He said a lot of extremely toxic things about me before my younger sister-in-laws came into the kitchen and practically dragged him out.
There we go.
My wife repeatedly said that it was a joke, but he wouldn't accept the explanation, saying she sticks up for me. Similarly, I remember one time, this was when his wife was alive, I bought him a gift and he straight up refused to accept it in front of the whole family.
What?
My wife's mother, brother, and his family, including sister-in-law, both sisters, their husbands, and the elder sister's kid were there. It was such a humiliating experience for me. I just wanted the man to not hate me all the time. I think my mother-in-law forced him to accept the gift after a few days and made him apologize to me. After my mother-in-law passed away, he changed. It was like his filter was gone. He would stay in his room a lot, only come out for errands and walks. He wouldn't watch the games with me, saying I talk too much. He wouldn't let me fix anything at the house, despite me practically living there and having done a lot of work in the house in the past. A popular theory among my friends was that he hated me because I was too close to his wife, which sounds absurd. She was a maternal figure in my life, and I can't for the life of me understand why that would piss him off.
Because he was jealous.
Because you had a type of relationship with her.
Yeah, you probably like asked her how her day was.
Yeah.
Something he never fathomed to do.
Oh, she was nice to everyone. My wife is nice to everyone too, to the point of it being a fault. My mother-in-law used to say that she had 4 sons. Her son, 2 husbands of my wife's sisters, and me. That's so sweet. So it's not like I was inappropriately close with the woman. I've discussed this with my wife a lot, but she's always insistent that my relationship with her mother has nothing to do with it. She needs to talk to her dad. Is this like, it feels like she's not really standing up for OP at all.
Yeah.
Or at least the barest minimum.
He needs to see, I don't know, he needs to get his head fixed, because I understand your wife has passed away, but that doesn't give you the right to treat this, your son-in-law like this.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything.
He's
trying
already
to
married to your daughter.
Yeah, and he's trying to have a relationship with you, man. I don't know. One day you're going to be walking down the street being like, man, I wish somebody cared for me.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was caring for you.
You're pushing everyone away in your life who's trying to help you. My wife is the youngest daughter, so she treats her father with a lot of love and respect. Early on in our relationship, his behavior wasn't an issue, and by the time it became an issue, we were already too serious for me to break it off over this. Everyone else in her family likes me as far as I know. I've been invited over by both of her sisters at multiple times for lunches, dinners, favors, etc. Everyone treats me like I'm family. I've talked to the eldest sister about why their father hates me, but she's always maintained that he doesn't hate me. She always says he loves his youngest daughter a lot and has always been a difficult person to please. And honestly, I can see that it's true. On an average day, he's the most tolerant of me out of all of his son-in-laws. Wait, so he hates all of his son-in-laws?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Looks like it.
Yeah. But they all live in different cities or states, and wife and I live in the same neighborhood, so he gets to see me more. I'm sure a part of his resentment is because of that too. After my mother-in-law passed, we were all heartbroken. A few days after her funeral, when everyone started to leave, my wife and I were going through some of the stuff that her mother left. She started getting choked up about the fact that the house felt like it had passed with her. We decided that we were going to take on the mantle of cooking for family dinners like her mom used to do. It's a pretty big responsibility considering the family is almost never all together except maybe one holiday a year. Sometimes it would just be my father-in-law, brother-in-law, and his family, and us. It was actually really nice for a while. Everyone kept visiting once in a while, and the routine was nice. I was glad to have more time for family and not be harassed by father-in-law. It felt like he was warming up to me. I feel like there's going to be some shoes about to drop.
Low-key, I think this guy could be scared of losing his daughter.
Maybe.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like he's scared, I guess, of maybe losing all of his daughters because
he already lost his wife. He doesn't want to lose his daughter. And
so
he
he's
has
like
some sort of
super
weird
hyper protective.
Yeah.
Honeybee85 says, does his daughter, OP's partner, look more like her mother? Maybe.
And like thinking that her being married is her being taken away or something, so he resents his son-in-laws.
Who are you reading?
Nothing. Those were my ideas.
Did Angie just send you ideas?
No.
Okay.
She's not here.
She's literally not here.
But yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah.
That you know, whenever he gets married, that would happen.
Allie says, perhaps it's the intimacy with his daughter. My cat's name is Karen, says maybe dad wanted his own sons. He didn't want to get close to the sister-in-law.
Yeah. Weird. A lot of conspiracy theories. Let's just get this guy in a room and ask what's your deal, and then we'll get the real ones.
Yeah, you need to have like go up to your father-in-law and be like, dude, you've always hated me. Why?
There we go. Make it dramatic.
Yeah.
Do what Riley would do. Fight him.
Yeah, I would totally fight him.
Earn his respect.
Riley's just really introspective, guys. See? That's what she said.
He's so introspective. At that time, wife and I started talking about marriage, and it just felt right. I don't think I was ever more sure about anything than about marrying my wife at the time. There was a brief moment before the engagement where she and I got into a fight, but things worked out nicely. We got engaged in May, and it just set things in motion. My wife is the youngest child in her family, so she got a lot of positive attention from her siblings. They had kept her mother's wedding accessories for her, which honestly was such a nice thing to do. And slowly, over the months, it became this big, happy event in our family. Winter of 2016, when we got married, my wife sat me down and asked me if it would be okay to move in back with her father to take care of him. I think that was the moment where I made the stupidest decision of my life when I said yes. Yeah, I understand why you said yes, but also it's kind of hard to move in with someone who actively hates you a lot.
The chronic PP got to you.
Yeah. What?
Chronic PP.
Chronic people pleasing.
Oh.
Chronic PP.
I was blinded by love, not just for my wife, but for her family, for her mother, who I miss so much, for her father, who liked me but never really accepted me, and for her siblings, who liked me like I was their own. I just thought about what would be best for everyone else. A month after we moved in, my father-in-law asked his son if he could come stay with them for a while. Whoa. Wait, like you guys moved in? He was like, I'm out of here. You guys can stay here. I'm leaving.
That's cool. Do you have to pay still?
Yeah. Is this just your place
cool
now?
with this. Like, quiet. All right. Where's he going?
He's going to the brother-in-law's.
All right. Dope.
At the time, it felt like a good thing that he was moving past the grief of his wife's passing, but I don't think that was why he visited his son. He just wanted to get out of the house because of me.
Low-key, he might be losing it mentally, too.
A few weeks later, when he got back, his passive-aggressiveness BS started again. Oh, he just left temporarily. I thought he was moving out forever. I thought he was like, I want to stay with the other one now. You guys stay here.
This guy makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But this time, it was just constant nagging over small, petty things. I moved the chair. No, I didn't. I broke the thermostat. No, and I changed it for good measure. I forgot to put the tools back. I messed up the library. Things like that. Almost as if I'm a child who's unwanted in this house.
Oh, this feels like a movie. I don't know why. It feels like Daddy's Home 2. It feels like these two characters, blah, 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 blah. Just cut the cheese and ask him what's going on with you.
Have a beer with him and say, dude,
why do you hate me?
Why do you hate me so much? It's like the climax of the movie.
Yes.
It's like, why do you hate me so much?
Now they're like fighting back and forth. The wife's like, oh, you boys, it's nothing. But they're like,
It sounds like Footloose, like where like the dad like hates dancing and like the guy like loves to dance.
Yeah.
facts.
May 2017, we had a huge fight, and I gave my wife a choice to either live with me or live with her father. That made her have a fight with her father, and she decided she was going to move out because, in her own words, he's never going to accept you as a son. He's delusional in grief. So we moved out, but still lived close by because both our jobs were quite close. Our moving out, however, messed up the whole family dinner tradition as her father refused to come to our place for dinners. And we couldn't afford to host the whole family in our small apartment. It became a logistic nightmare. So her brother stepped up and said he was going to do it. I think their father was really mad at me for ruining the tradition because at every single dinner I had with him, he wanted nothing to do with me. I actually liked it this way because it was nice to not be attacked or defended all the time.
Okay. I mean,
He's not talking to you, so I guess that's better.
now the characters are, they have their own way. They're like, and the other one's like, well,
Yeah, and the wife's, and then it's like a montage or something.
yeah.
But my wife started resenting me for it, and I think her younger sister and brother do too. What? You didn't do anything, man. It's been almost 2 years since we moved out. I don't attend family dinners with much regularity, maybe once a month if I'm being generous. I also got busier at work, so I've been spending less time with wife during the weekdays, which I prefer because her resentment towards me is making it a very difficult situation. She goes over to her brother's house every other weekend, and the other weekend is spent at her father's place where her brother's family and she get together for dinner. The only person on my side is my oldest sister-in-law because she thinks her father has treated me badly. She has visited us twice over the last year, and it's the only time I've gotten any affection from my in-laws. It feels like up until 2 years ago, I had a huge family who all loved me, and now I'm getting more and more lonely by the month. Oh, I can't help but feel that the marriage has changed our lives for the worse. It's been more than 2 months since my wife and I have been intimate in our bedroom. It's been a lot longer since we've had a date for ourselves. I'm at a complete loss as to what I can do to improve things.
Dude, you gotta go to the dad.
You need to,
Go on a fishing trip with the dad.
literally, you need to have a conversation with everyone here.
Figure it out with the dad first. Show some progress. Then figure it out with the wife. I don't know. I have been a part of a like, I dated a girl and like her family did not like me whatsoever. And I will say the dynamic in that family was super hard to be around. And it made me super sad because I'm a family guy. All right. And I seem like
He's
it.
a family guy.
But I am a family person.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to be liked by the people closest to their partner.
But I especially with the family, and now being with Angie has been fantastic. Like, her parents are super fun around me. They joke with me. Like, I send them updates. They talk to me back and forth. It's such a nice relationship to be around them, and I don't know, it just makes things so much easier. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
knowing what I know now, if I was with someone and their family didn't vibe with me, I probably would be giving second thoughts. Like, I don't know if I would have gotten married 3 years ago.
No, I mean, if he said no, I would have to have a really big conversation with my fiance first.
Yeah.
Say like, hey, your dad said no. We need to, I feel like I don't want to proceed with you until we get this sorted out with him.
Yeah, exactly.
And have like a sit down conversation with both of us. This post kind of
But
grew.
like, why is she moving in with the dad? Sounding like,
Well, she's not anymore.
She was losing it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Could have heard it wrong though.
The post kind of grew when I was writing it. I had to edit some small details because I don't want my in-laws to find this post. By the way, we want you to find full episodes of stories just like this, and you can find them if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search a OK Storytime. There is both an update and also a whole other saga to this story.
I was like, that's
this
it?
is not over.
I was like, oh no.
It was just split into 2 parts.
Do we time jump again?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Bro, time jumps again. I love time jumps, especially with stories like this. Like TV series, let's not do that. But this, oh my gosh.
Boy, do I have the movie for you. Back to the Future.
Update 2019.
This guy, wait.
What?
Figure it out with the dad. Okay, go.
Yeah. Wait. Some folks have messaged me asking for an update, so I thought I could post it here instead of personal messages. I have been reading a lot of relationship help books and tried to talk to my wife many times.
Doing the inner work. Let's go.
However, the fact is she and I don't work as a couple anymore.
Ooh,
I
I have so many conspiracy theories about this too.
This is sad.
Just one? You want to give us one?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So many. So many. You just can't think of one.
So freaking many,
Oh
man.
man, that's it.
Yeah.
Guys, don't be mad at me. I just read a study about how birth control affects how relationships are. There was a study done about it. You know what I'm talking about?
In that it affects the hormones of the woman
Yeah.
or the person taking it?
Yeah. So like there was a study done with women that are on birth control and a study done with women that weren't on birth control. and the women that weren't on birth control would smell these like bags of men that would sweat in this t-shirt, and like it would be like basically they smell their pheromones. They call that pheromones. They smell the men's pheromones, and it concluded that the women that were not on birth control chose like more diverse like partners in that. But the women that were on birth control chose randomly, or people that were kind of like more similar to them, like similar DNA structures or whatever, and it looked like the birth control would like kind of alter their like perception on the partner. So I think like once people come off of birth control, they're like, they see their partner and they're like, who is this person? Like I don't smell or like have the same vibe of like the person that I thought I was with. That's kind of like what I don't know. Prove me wrong here.
No. I'm not saying that that's wrong. What is the relevancy to?
Well, another thing too is she could have maybe been on birth control when they were together and now was off it, and that might be another reason why they're so separate. Not just the dad. It was the dad stuff, and then also this one too, where she's like, we can't be a couple anymore.
That is a theory.
Because if it's just the dad stuff, you could work through it and be like, okay, dad, you're being hard. They just have an intervention.
I don't think they could work through it if she doesn't do anything, you know?
Yeah, well, if they have an intervention, they could fix it, but it doesn't sound like she, one, wants to have intervention, and two, if someone says, we just don't work as a couple anymore, they're dunzos.
Yeah, I agree. I think because she's not willing to fight for this relationship when her father says, oh, you shouldn't be in this relationship.
Thank you. It's me, Nani.
Sure. I know, I don't think Riley is wrong. I just thought it's a left field theory, but you know, perhaps the left field is where the right answers are.
Let's go.
However, the fact is she and I just don't work as a couple anymore. I am no longer a priority in her life, and I am not okay with it. So last month, I decided to talk to my lawyer and initiate divorce. It's been a really stressful time, especially from almost all of her family. But at this point, I just want to look after myself and recover myself from this relationship. Dead Bedroom subreddit have been helpful as well. I read through so many posts there, which kind of opened my eyes to the nature of my marriage. And that is the end of part 1. So we're going to get into part 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a whole part 2.
We're going to the future.
The future!
Well, technically the present, because we're going, yeah.
Dude, that's what's up.
Me and my ex-wife divorced years ago. Now she wants to meet me for lunch.
You had to spoil the broth, huh?
Wants to meet me for lunch? Well, he already was initiating it.
Dude, okay. This is my theory.
Okay. Conspiracy theory?
They've gotten divorced. She realizes, I don't know, maybe her dad passed, or I don't know, maybe her dad realizes he regrets.
Dad's out of the picture.
He's out of the picture.
Dad's
Either he regrets
wish.
in some way. Something has changed with the dad. She realizes, oh my God, my dad was the reason that this marriage was failing. I still love OP a lot. I need to go back and get him back.
Dang.
That's my theory.
Wow. I think it's something similar to that.
October 27th, 2023.
That is 4 years in the future.
That's a time jump, man.
Oh.
That is a time jump.
4 years, Shell Bell.
There's some context to why we got divorced, but it will take too long to explain here. Don't worry, we read it. By the way, this comes from Phil Said No. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, after our divorce, I lost a family and friends. I was very involved with the family on her side, and losing them all at the same time because we got divorced made things difficult for me. I am an immigrant here, so I did not have many friends outside of my ex-wife's family. And so also to, be cut off from their own family and then have this kind of accepting one that just drops you.
That's so tough. Like having one, I don't know, my dad, he's not really close with his side of the family, but him being a part of my mom's side of the family helps so much, but not having any family at all, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so sad.
During the divorce process, the COVID lockdown started, and that ended all my relationships with her side of the family. And I was really lonely here for a long time. I tried to go on dates, but the dating culture is so different now than 15 years ago. I could not find a person I wanted to spend more time with, but I think it was in part my fault too. And the one person who showed interest in long-term dating was much younger than me. I did not like her friends, and her friends were not thrilled with me either. So that relationship kind of passed in 2021. Since then, I have stopped going on dates even. And I have lost touch with some friends and acquaintances because of COVID, because of the vid. Or maybe because of age and not having a wife. Like they're all family men now, so making time is a difficult thing. But anyway, I saw my ex-wife a few times in the last 2 years, and we exchanged some quick words about well-being, but nothing substantial. I know she lost her father due to COVID. Or I know she lost her father due to vid. And I told her I was sorry for her loss because he loved her very much. She also told me she was dating a younger man and it was going well.
Okay,
Now,
you don't gotta put that in there.
That's
Like
what's up.
that part.
You didn't even say that. You did not need to say that.
How do you think she met the younger guy?
Her dad?
Oh.
You said that he probably has someone better for her.
Oh, I don't think that younger man's gonna last too long.
Oh no, dude, you can't.
I think her dad's passed.
He's here for a fun time, not a long time.
However, we never sat down for tea anything. It just never happened. But 2 months ago, I got a message from her saying she wanted to meet for lunch. During this lunch, she told me her relationship of 1 year and some months was not going well, and she was thinking of breaking up with her boyfriend.
Cool. Let's talk to your friend about that.
Yeah, I would be like, oh my God. I would be like, why are you telling me this?
This is an opportunity.
Why are you telling me this?
No, this is an opportunity to get back.
No, I'd
Yes.
be like, why are you telling me this?
But
I don't
of course
wanna
you're gonna say,
know.
well, I've been seeing other people too.
Yeah, and then you say, yeah, I've seen a lot of people. Got a whole freaking rasta. She and him did not agree on kids or not having kids, and she did not see a future with him. We kept in touch through the last 2 months, and 12 days ago, she broke up with him. She told me part of the reason was that after talking to me, she remembered how it was with me when we first started dating, and how it was not the same with her boyfriend. I freaking called it.
Oh.
I freaking called it, man.
You're the honey hive. She's
I
the
freaking
bee.
called it. Her dad passes, and then she realizes that OP and her had a pretty good relationship.
Oh, what do I do with all this pollen? I don't know where to go. I need to go back to the honey hive. That is you, my friend.
She and I have been talking a lot in the last few weeks. Since the breakup, the first thing she does after waking up every morning is message me.
My cat's name is Karen. Says, I hate this woman.
Yeah, she's being a little bit cray-cray. And then 2 days ago, she called at 7 in the morning saying she was at my door with some food. I had been feeling ill, but I don't remember when I told her. However, she came with a lot of home-cooked food and soups, which she knows I like. I felt like we were back in time 10 years ago. It's been a very confusing time since then. I'm not sure I feel. I think I'm starting to love her again. She pays me so much attention, which is nice. She also keeps sending food or bringing it herself.
Because guess who else did that? Her mom.
Oh.
And that's why he was so, like, she loves me so much.
Oh. And then last night, she spent the night because I was too ill to get up and clean after myself. She spent the night. Dude. Nothing happened between us, but at the same time, I think she wants to talk about us dating again, maybe. And I will admit, all the attention and food and other gestures of love and care are starting to feel incredible. I'm not sure who to talk about this. I think I need to keep her away for a few days to be able to think clearly. But it has been so long since I have felt this good about myself. And a lot of our relationship problems were from how her father acted with me. So I kept thinking maybe we can try again and this time it will be better. Any advice or anyone wants to talk to help me think here, I would really appreciate it. And there is an update.
Dude, I'm kind of stressed. I'm stressing out here. OP, if you really want this to happen, take it slow.
Take it so slow. I'm like super stressed for you, but
Do we think he's gonna take it slow though?
No.
I think my advice for him is you need to have a conversation with your ex like ASAP. Say, like, sit her down and say, hey,
Sit her down.
sit her down and say, hey, I've noticed, seems like maybe you're trying to come back into my life. Is that your intention? Because if so, either you're interested or not. If you're interested, then you say, like, I'm interested, but I want to take it really slow. I want to make sure that I'm in a good headspace, that you just broke up with someone. I don't know if you're, it was a year and a half. So
Yeah. Well, it's been 12 days since I broke up. Real quick
yeah,
poll.
12 days.
Do it or not?
Yeah.
What's a better way to do this? Like, get together? That together's a long
Get
word.
back?
Run or nah? Well, run or stay.
Run or stay.
1 is run, 2 is stay. I agree. I don't know. He hasn't really seen anyone recently. I think
in the 4 years, really.
In the
Like,
4 years, so he definitely has his eye on her, and that's the one that has his heart. She's gone around, not like gone around, but like she's been seeing other people, seeing if she could do it. Nothing's really working out.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, but like, how can, like, if you are with someone, how can you let their dad block you? Like, how can you let that happen?
The thing is, I don't think it's a good idea for them to get back together, but I think that he wants to. So I'm giving him advice for that scenario.
Yeah.
But there is an
A
update.
lot of people are saying run. Put 1 for run, 2 for stay.
Robert Schmidt says 2 in therapy. As for the update, it's a mixed bag. On Saturday, she came over to talk about a relationship and what we both wanted and what went wrong. She asked to speak first, and I really should have talked first instead, but I let her say her part, and it was focused on her relationship with her whole family. How important her father was to her. How much involved everyone else was in her relationship with me. She said sorry for letting her family, and her father in particular, meddle in our marriage. One of the things which hurt me a lot was when she mentioned that her ex-boyfriend never wanted to be around her family and hated going to any family events or even to a simple dinner. She said that's when she realized how much easier I had made things for her in our marriage. Ooh. It was incredibly hurtful because I remember telling her in so many different ways and at many times, even before the passing of her mother, that I was okay with her family's involvement, but she needed to keep some distance between our relationship and her father in particular.
Dude, that sucks when you mention it and she finally figures it out after you and someone else. She's like, oh yeah, that probably is what I needed to do.
It's like, okay,
Why didn't you?
go figure that out. You figured it out. Go use that on someone else. She said that one time her father said something nasty directed at her ex-boyfriend, and after that time he refused to be in the same room as him. And I told her that he was right in doing that. I reminded her of the time when her father told me after 5 years of our relationship that he did not want to give me his blessing for asking you to marry. I don't know why, but hearing her say that, she saw her family's behavior towards her boyfriend, and that was what helped her see how toxic they could be, was really hurtful. Yeah, I mean, that sucks for her to have to learn that on someone else and not in your marriage. Like, my feelings and my protests did not matter to her as much. I told her that, and she had tears in her eyes. Actually, I feel like maybe OP isn't going to get together. I don't know. There's a lot of left to the story, though.
It's up in the air right now.
She said sorry a lot of times about it. She said she was young and inexperienced, and at first, and then after her mother passed, she was scared of losing her father, and anything I said about him was difficult for her to hear about that. I remember one time we were hosting the family dinner, and her father said hurtful things about my cooking, and I brought it up with her and one of her siblings, and she refused to hear me even when her sister told her she should listen because I was right.
Dang. Oh man, you got no. Don't.
Yeah, you hit Riley's one little thing. What is it, Riley? You never.
Oh, you don't talk about other
badmouth some
people's
cooking. Yeah.
No, even if like they say something and it's like it could be better. Like Keon at Thanksgiving, he was like, "Hey, just gonna be real with you. The turkey breast part of the turkey was not really good," and I was like, "Dude, thank you for that." But not a lot of people can take that kind of criticism. Not a lot of people can like be like, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
I tell it how it is.
That's just the last thing.
I just preempt it. I'm like, oh, it's not that great, and then expectations can only be raised. Anyway, when we got talking about her father, the conversation kind of got away from me. We ended up talking about him for like 2 hours. I think she wanted to get a lot of it off her chest too. It was very emotional and exhausting though, as afterwards I did not have the energy to continue talking. I really wish I had talked first because I wanted to talk to her about our problems in the bedroom as well. But we had to make food first. She was saying how much she missed cooking with me and being around each other. I guess that's another thing her ex-boyfriend did not appreciate about her.
Okay, why are we comparing so much?
Yeah, I don't, stop talking about your ex. After making lunch together, we just sat eating and talking about the few times we had some time for ourselves when we were married. She mentioned how much she liked going on 2 road trips we took together after we got married. For context, we used to have a lot more time when we first started dating as we were still studying. But then after getting jobs and having to take care of a house, it slowly diminished. After we finished lunch, I was too tired to continue our conversation, so we just kind of existed around each other for a little bit. We did talk about what we should not expect if we started dating. I told her I want to talk about our bedroom problems, but maybe not right away. She told me she wanted to say sorry for not listening to me about that too. She was a very selfish lover, and she told me it was a difficult thing for her to realize that she ignored my needs in the marriage. She said if we date again, she wanted us to see a relationship counselor together and by herself to make our dating life better. I think it's a good idea to talk to someone who can help me explain my side of things to her. I am not confident how helpful the conversation can be if it's just the two of us. She has a tendency to talk over me or to agree with me but not let me say my part. I want to talk to her about it too, but I think it's better if I wait until we've found some relationship counselor.
Nice. Okay.
Smart.
All right.
But still, I think the outcome of the conversation yesterday was good. I want to ask her out on a date tonight for maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. She went back to her house last night and I missed her presence around me a lot. I don't know if that is a good sign or if it means I'm too lonely. When she was here yesterday, she got a call from one of her siblings and she mentioned me by name. I was not listening in, but I just heard her say my name, so my ears picked up on that part. I feel like that should be a good sign too. Or maybe I'm just desperate to look for anything positive and take that as a sign. She wanted to come over today, but I told her I'm feeling much better and she doesn't need to cook for me today. Good on you, putting up boundaries.
True, Hopi.
Also, I spent the morning today looking through our old pictures together. It was nice to remember the person she used to be. I feel like yesterday I saw a little bit of that person in her. Am I wrong to want to start something so soon? I know I said previously that I would wait, but waiting for the sake of it seems pointless. I do want to take things slow because I want us to find a relationship counselor soon, but I am afraid I will lose her if I show no interest. And there is an update, but
What's the poll again?
run, I think.
Run.
86% run. It's just confusing. Why do you want to work on the what does she want out of this?
Yeah.
I don't understand that too. If she wants a relationship, why are we working on it now and why didn't we work on it earlier?
The thing is that I think
Her
she was,
father.
I think that her father really, had a huge sway on her understanding of the relationship. I think that she didn't like the relationship she was just in, broke up, and now she's like, reminiscing about the past and not really thinking about all the reasons that they broke up and that they did break up and divorce. Yeah. Like, it's not even just a breakup. This is a divorce.
Yeah, she didn't know what she lost until she lost it, and then she's like, "Oh, I have someone young. I have a young buck, and he sucks."
Yeah, and also the kind of frame of mind for OP to be like, "Oh, if I don't show any interest, if I go too slow, she's gonna lose interest." If she was actually serious about wanting to fix the relationship, then she wouldn't leave after a moment. She would take the time to work on it.
It seems like she can't also make her own decisions.
Yeah.
Like, she just needs her dad. She had her dad in her ear, and she's like, "I'll do whatever he says." And
Jem says this would be a different and totally new relationship. Can't have the same thing again. It turns out bad. That's a great point.
Yikes.
That's a really great point. Like, when you get back with an ex, there has to be a talk about this is not the same relationship that we had that before because that one didn't work.
Yeah.
This is a new one.
that's on both parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
But there is an update.
Oh boy.
We got back together, but we are living separately at the moment. Yeah, don't live together immediately. That would be crazy.
I would.
Also, we started couples therapy. Great.
Oh boy.
I am hopeful about my life and I will try my best to remember to update here at some point in the future. Anyway, here's what I wrote. My ex-wife and I have reconnected over the last few months. About 2 months ago, she brought up how she wanted to officially give it another go. So we had a long talk about it. We talked about the past, in particular the state of our marriage towards the end, and how much of it was because of my father-in-law, and how much of it was instead because of her and me. She has been going to therapy about her father's death, which I did not know about before. She said she hasn't told anyone in the family either, so I am not surprised. But anyway, she talked about her relationship with him quite a lot. It was surprising to hear so much reflection from her about it. And honestly, it meant a lot to me that she decided to open up about it. She has struggled all her life about her father's shadow over her, and she acknowledged that it is a little late for the broken up marriage, as she now knows better. She brought up therapy for us as a couple again. And I told her we need to do it if we are going to start dating again. She asked if we are dating again. And I said, I asked the last time, so you have to this time. Haha. So I guess it's official. I feel like, you know what? I feel like I want to be positive. I feel like they are making the right steps to fix this.
They want to make it work out.
I want to think positively about this.
Yo,
maybe it
low-key,
won't work out, but you know what? They're adults.
Forbidden love right now. And now they're like, it's such a rom-com, dude.
I think OP is taking the right steps to ensure that this isn't just gonna like, he's not rushing into it.
Yeah.
They're thinking about it.
True.
However, we talked about keeping separate places for a while just for the convenience of things and for giving each other space. Things are slower this time around. She hasn't told any of her siblings, and I get the feeling her family is not as close as they used to be when her parents were alive. There are no official family get-togethers events other than Christmas and Easter. Oh. I think it's better for her that her siblings are not constantly around anymore. It gives her more space to find herself in a way. But it's bittersweet feeling because I loved her parents' time of getting together as a big family every once in a while. Anyway, we decided to make it official, but I am at a loss about where the relationship is now. I keep calling her my ex-wife here, but she's also my girlfriend. So if there is a word for it, please let me know. What about my ex-wife's now girlfriend?
What about her name?
That's true.
Why can't we just call her her name?
My partner. It's a new feeling, so there is familiarity in this relationship, but it is also very different than from last time. We are not so young and naive. We have found a couples therapist and have already gone for 2-3 therapy events. It is helpful to have the therapist in our conversations. It helps me talk without her talking over or agreeing, and then continuing my conversation on her own. She's getting better at listening to me. She said how she grew up having to always listen to either her father or her older siblings. She is the youngest sibling. I don't remember if I have mentioned that before. So with me, she felt like she had to talk the most. It makes sense when she explains it, but it's like I was the only one around her she could talk to, so she got into the habit of not listening as well. But we're working on it. Also, I need to be much stronger in conversations, which I'm working on as well. It feels weird to be 2 adult people and having to learn how to talk all over again. I will admit that I had my doubts about therapists being able to really help, but I'm really glad about being wrong. It doesn't seem like they went to a therapist when they were first, going.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's good that they're taking their
steps, talking, communicating a lot. I just want to know why the dad didn't like him. That's what I want to know.
I think he's just a bitter old man who lost his, wife and didn't know how to be a nice person.
Didn't want to lose his daughter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not everything is good news though, and she had to get a court order against her ex for abuse. Oh. I don't think she's in danger, but she said I should not write details about it here. Also, I am still struggling with loneliness, but I am trying to not fix it by this relationship. I also think that you guys need, it seems like you don't really, I don't know about her, but at least you don't really have a lot of friendship outside of,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like you've ever really had that outlet. So I think putting an effort to find friends for you and someone who's not your partner.
True.
To rely on. Yeah. I have started talking to more people at work.
There you go.
Also, some of the people here who messaged me have been really amazing. I joined a small gaming group because of a message, and I'm really happy about it. There are a lot of good and kind people who wished me well, which I'm really grateful for. And after a long time in my life, I feel positive about my future at the moment. I should probably message people more often, but coming to this website is always difficult because of how many hateful messages and comments pop up. Address some things that bothered me a lot from the comments. No, my late father-in-law was not a racist person. He had a complicated life. His family struggled a lot, and so he had a very rough childhood and early adult life. He worked hard all his life to make a better home for his children. None of you know him, and the weirdly hostile comments about him are uncalled for. He's passed now, but please let him rest. He was not a perfect person, but he was a good father despite his flaws. My ex-wife was not cheating on her previous boyfriend. We were talking in messages and nothing happened. Her boyfriend was abusive towards her, and she was scared, and she needed a friendly person she knew just to talk about it. I really hope that people who have been constantly messaging me about how she's a terrible person, or worse, how we're both terrible people, are never put in an abusive situation. She was trying to survive the best way she could. And despite us both wanting to, we did not do anything while she was actually dating the ex. Everyone keeps questioning why my late father-in-law hated me. I think I might not have written some previous posts very well. He did not just hate me, he hated everyone outside of his family. That is important to know. My ex-wife has many sisters, and he didn't get along with any of their husbands. I was the favorite son-in-law, but that might just be because my ex-wife is the youngest child. Also, my late mother-in-law loved me, which carried over to my late father-in-law as well. He was a difficult person to get along with, but he did not just hate me. Or at least he did not hate me the most. I don't know why he was like that, but he had a complicated life, like I said before. But you know what's not complicated? Listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime.
Boom, boom, boom.
And there is a little bit left to this story, but Sophie A says OP should have done therapy when they split so he could recover properly. She wants kids, etc. She might not want to look around and try dating after her failed attempt with her ex.
Also, it feels like they're both going to the default. They've known each other for 9 years.
Absolutely.
My ex, I'm breaking up with my ex. Oh, I know that my other ex is there.
And is like someone safe. Someone I know.
And I know he mentions that he's not lonely and he's trying to get over the loneliness and he doesn't want to be in this relationship because of loneliness. That's the case. He's there because of he is lonely.
Yeah. I think he is there in part of loneliness. Which is, I mean, you know.
Sad.
Is sad and is normal. It's normal to want to do that. I think and it seems like he is aware, but I think he just needs to be very aware and bring this up in therapy. So he doesn't rely on his wife as a person to escape loneliness. Like, no, this is like, I want to be in this relationship because I want to be in this relationship with you, not because I'm sad or I'm lonely or I have no one else.
And that goes for anyone listening or watching.
Yeah.
Your partner should not be your main source of happiness or, you know, fixing your loneliness. That's not how it should be.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because that's a lot for you and also a lot for the person to like a lot of baggage for that person.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just like always your partner should never be your, you know, the only person that you're hanging
you
out
need
with.
a support group. I mean, that should be your priority and
absolutely. Yeah. Priority
like
is different
than
only person you're hanging out with.
You need a support group.
Yeah. Shell Bell says the fact that he was treated the best out of all the sister-in-laws says something too. Yeah. I mean, his father-in-law hated everyone, but he hated OP the least.
I guess.
You
take what you can get.
Goodness gracious, dude.
Do you have any final thoughts, Riley? That will take 5 minutes.
No. We're already at like 7 minutes. You can just finish it.
Well, to say a final thought.
I already did.
Keon, do you have any final thoughts?
No thoughts. Just keep doing what you're doing, OP. Honestly, the therapy's great. This was a pretty good ending to a story. Like we all thought, we all said
of
run,
like freaking 4 years, man, or actually even longer than that.
Yeah, way longer. Yeah.
However, a lot of comments and even more messages from that time are really hostile towards my ex-wife in particular. I don't want to address these messages because these people don't need any more fuel for their hate. But please remember that the people you're reading about are real people, not just stories on your posts. And that is the end of that story.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, that was one heck of a
saga.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. I think Lisa Marie says now it's negative, but sadly I think 12 months down the line or 6 months after they move in together, it will end again.
You think so?
I don't know. I think that they're taking the right I'm hopeful. I'm actually pretty hopeful about this because I think that they are taking the right steps.
Yeah.
I think, of course, there's always a chance that this could not work out, but I think that's true of any relationship.
They could be taking the right steps. I don't have all the answers. One, why did the dad hate OP? Two, why did she, I mean, I understand why she gave up, but why does she all of a sudden want to get back with OP?
Because I think she's taken 4 years and she's been in a relationship that wasn't great. And I'm sure it's, you know, I'm sure there is some bias or there is something of
there's just like
seeing that this AOP is safe.
There's this big elephant in the room no one's talking about. And I don't know what it looks like or really what it is, but we're not addressing it head on.
Well, I think that's what therapy's for. Lisa Marie says they're taking the right steps, but he is too lonely and will make her his world. And she is using him as a safety net after an abusive relationship. And I think that's a possibility. But I think that if they go to therapy and they put in the work and stuff and have these conversations,
probably have it work out. Because
they didn't have that before. It seems like OP was pretty kind of either didn't believe in therapy or just like hesitant about it.
Yeah.
And now is a little bit more, you know, okay with doing it.
Yeah.
I think a good relationship is having a good relationship with your partner, having a good relationship with yourself, and having a good relationship with your broader support system.
True.
But that is the end of that episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.